Houston Real Estate Radio starts right now.
Welcome back. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register, and every week we bring you news and information you can use on your next real estate transaction. Today we're continuing our tour here at the Woodlands 11th Annual Fall Home and Garden Show out at the Woodlands Marriott. It's been a great turnout at the show this fall. Lots of great vendors out here. And right now I'd like to talk with the Omega Wine Rooms owner. I got Mr. David Feldmeyer here to talk to us about what he does with these custom wine rooms. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us what you do, because lots of people want a wine room, and they're a little bit more complicated than just what you see when you walk into one, right?
There's two different types of wine room. One is just regular room temperature. It's for small collections, display, temporary. You buy what you're going to drink in the next 30 days. For anybody that is a connoisseur or a collector, you need to have a climatized area to store your wine in. And that's where they run out of space. They have 2 or 3 wine refrigerators around the house, stuff in boxes in the closet, and they go, this is enough. We need to put it all in one place. And, that's what we do. We go in and we'll install a climatized, wine room in almost any area of the house.
And you've got some beautiful examples on display here at the Woodlands Home and Garden Show. Tell us about the different types of displays people like to purchase.
There's different ways to present the wine, whether it's single bottle storage, whether you put it in a diamond rack, what we call cubbies, where they're just bigger spaces, but maybe 4 bottles to it. Some people still use case storage. And each one is different. There's no two the same. And really it's what the customer is looking for to get out of their wine room. Some of them just want storage space. Mm-hmm. They want to get as many bottles as they can in the space they have. They don't care
what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. They just want to make sure that I got this amount of space, and I want to get a bottle in every corner I can get. And there's others that they only want 300 bottles, but they want that wow factor. They want glass, the window. They want to see through it. They want to make it an experience. Mm-hmm. The environment. We also do wine walls, where it's just one wall to accent a dining room or a man cave. Mm-hmm. Conversation.
A lot of options.
And there's a lot of options. And because everything we do is custom, we don't buy anything off the internet. And
so you look at the room and then customize it?
Yes, we can customize the space no matter how big or how small. We haven't figured out how to get 2,000 bottles in a small closet yet, but we're still working on that.
So this is a big business. A lot of people are wine drinkers. It's something that a lot of people like to have in their home. So you're doing anything from small projects, just the average wine drinker, all the way up to people who have huge displays.
Right. Very large displays. Some even want to entertain in that wine storage, climate controlled area. A lot of people don't like it to get in there, and most of the people that I do that for, it said that's okay because they don't want a lot of people in there. So it keeps people out.
So some people actually have a wine cellar, and then other people just have some wine displayed in their dining room, for example.
Correct.
You can do it all.
We do it from A to Z.
So if someone wants to do this, they would just give you a call, and you come out, look at the space, and design it for them?
Correct.
And you've got different things that they can look at to kind of figure out what you've done, see what you've done before, and figure out what they want. Because some people don't know. They can't imagine it. They don't know what they want. Right. They need some help designing it.
Sure. And other people have, we've gone out there, and it's like they've taken pictures. They've gone to a restaurant. They've been overseas. This is what the day that I build a new home and want a wine room, this is what I want it to look like. Mm-hmm. And you go out there and they show you a picture, and it's like, okay,
I can do that.
I mean, we can duplicate it.
All right.
And the ones that don't have anything, we'll come up and present ideas and try to find out, just what they want to do. And, sometimes it's a mid-range between bottle count and, showing off the bottles. Some of these collector bottles are $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a bottle.
Got to be very careful with those.
Right, and they want to show them off, and they
Sure.
want them to be
Nice displays.
very nice display. And we only use the top of the line LED lighting in our refrigerator systems. Once we put them in, we also service, because we have to service our customers and keep those systems running. And it's a refrigeration system, not an air conditioning system. A lot of people don't realize there's a huge difference, and there's a huge cost difference in how they operate and the maintenance required.
Tell me about the maintenance required on something like that.
It's, twice a year maintenance.
And you go out and maintain the system?
We go out and maintain the system, check and make sure that it's, everything's properly, the Freon levels are right, temperature's right. We clean the coils.
Now, what happens if you don't build it right? What's the downside to just having your, your favorite contractor come in and build the wine room?
If it's built incorrectly, you can actually get mold inside the wine room. Mold will grow on the walls, on the racks, on the bottles, on the labels. And you take a connoisseur of wine, if he gets mold on the label, that bottle has lost value.
So it's important to do it right.
It's very important to do it right. And when we build our racks, we triple sand all the edges, they're rounded over, and hand sanded to make sure that when you slide a bottle in and out on the rack, it doesn't tear the label.
So it doesn't scratch it either.
It doesn't scratch it. You don't want anything to make a mark on it. That just kind of takes away from the presentation when it's served. Just the value of it if he's showing it to someone.
Right.
You don't want a raw edge or a split in the wood to cause a problem on the label.
So somebody at home right now listening to the show who's thinking about building a wine room, what are some tips you could give them to be able to tell the difference between someone who's done this like you have and someone who this is their first time building a wine room, they really don't know what they're doing? What are some questions they should ask, or some things that they should really pay attention to?
First off, make sure that whoever you asked or come out to do it, see how long they've been in business, how many wine rooms they've done, obvious references of those we've done. Even visit, want to go actually see the work instead of just a picture, and talk to the people that, have
make sure they're
that.
happy with it.
They're happy with it, and that they didn't have to have it redone. A lot of people will show stuff, and there's the blessings and the curses of the internet.
Right.
So, but when you get in person, face to face with somebody, that's the best way.
What is for a really nice bottle of wine? What is a nice way to display it? I mean, obviously you have the cubbies and you have little slots you can put them in, but what is a nice way to display it where it's out, but yet it's protected where it won't get broken?
You can put it in a rack on a display row, which is angled slightly, where it's still where you can read the label, but also it keeps the cork wet. If you raise it too high or straight up, then the cork dries out, then you have problems with the wine deteriorating. And also, we could put them just horizontal racks on a wall, just by themselves. And we could highlight them in a presentation rack in like a grotto area.
Okay. And you do special lighting around them to really showcase them?
Yes, all the special lighting, right. And you can change the lighting based on how you build the grotto area in the wine room and the display area.
Now, do the lights normally dim? Do you have different ways to present the lighting for different times of day?
We do. All of our wine rooms come with dimmers, and we usually have minimum 2 types of lighting, and sometimes 3 and 4, depending on the size of the room and the different bottles. So you could display your row, ceiling lighting if there's a chandelier inside, or rope lighting to uplight a ceiling. So
Because sometimes a wine room can be a very small space, so you really have to have good lighting to make it look nice.
Right, and if it's just a closet area or a wine wall, you want to make sure that the presentation and everything about that is very elegant and accurate and functional.
For someone who just has a normal 2,500, 3,000 square foot home, but they really enjoy wine, want to have a nice place to store it, when you go into their home, where do you recommend? Do you recommend they build a wall? Do you recommend they put it in a closet, like under the staircase? What do you recommend to them as a place to feature, as a storage place to have their wine where it's going to be the way that they want it?
One thing you don't want to do is have direct lighting. You want to have it dark. If it's going to be in a room where there's a lot of windows, if they have shades, blinds that are closed, and you want glass, that's great, but you just don't want that indirect lighting coming through the window and then straight into the wine collection, unless it's a solid door. But anything with a glass door, you just don't want that light coming through.
Okay.
It's designed to be wants to be in that darkness.
So under the stairs is good because there's no.
Under the stairs is good, right? Sometimes what I refer to as the collateral damage, in order to get the refrigeration lines, electricity, everything needed to put the wine room under the stairs, we could build and do everything under there. But you have to get those utilities there, and sometimes you have to take a lot of things apart in order to allow that to get in there, because there's also a condensation, so you have to have a drain. Sometimes we do gravity drains. Other times we have to do pumps to pump the condensation out.
Okay.
But you have to have lines to do that too, and if it's centered in the house, it gets difficult.
So someone who's building a new home, that's really the best way to put in any kind of wine room or wine area, is to really have it in a new home where it can be customized.
Right, when it's being built and it's framed, and we could run all that stuff and everything works out very well. But retrofits, are
more complicated.
But we're well qualified to do that. Being a remodeling contractor for 23 years.
All right. Well, David, thank you so much for coming on the program. David is with Omega Wine Rooms. He's here at the Woodlands Home Show, and I know you do a lot of these home shows, but if people are listening to the show, want to get in touch with you, how could they find you?
They could call us at 281-477-7858 or send an email to David at 1-800-winerooms.com.
1-800-winerooms.com. I like that. David at 1-800-winerooms.com.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. We'll be right back with more here on Houston Real Estate Radio.